Hey everybody, this is TJR.
And this is Super Fam.
And we got the little guy here with us as well, who has his own little vlogging light. Yeah, that's how into this he is now.
He's a fan.
Yeah. Anyhow, though, so hey, Record Store Day, 2023, April 22nd. The list for Record Store Day 2023 has just been dropped. And I thought I would go over some of the releases that caught my eye. Doesn't mean I'm going to get every single one, but just the ones that caught my eye. Talk about them. A few that you might be interested in.
Yeah,
well.
I have no idea what's on the list because you won't tell me.
You just walked in the door.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. I won't tell you. You just walked in the door, woman. So we'll talk about that. But before we do, I thought I should mention real quick, if you're not familiar with Record Store Day or you're just kind of looking into it, it happens twice a year. There's the regular Record Store Day release, which is this April, coming April 22nd. And then there is Record Store the Black Friday, which of course is on Black Friday, of course. So they have it twice a year. And, you know, I've noticed over the last couple of years, every time the list gets dropped, you get some YouTube vloggers who are saying, it's not like it used to be. These lists aren't as good as they once were. And they're just angry that it was better back in the earlier days. And maybe it was, I don't know. Because, you know, I wasn't as in tune to it when it first started. I wasn't as into vinyl. Also, I was probably financially in a different place when it first started. And really couldn't pay as much attention to it. Maybe it was better then. I don't know. But to me, I still get excited to see what's going to be out there. And if there's just even one or two little gems, I'm thrilled to take part.
Well, that's all you would normally buy anyway.
Yeah. Normally I just buy maybe one or two, maybe more. There have been a few years where I've bought a lot more than I might normally be known for getting. But I think if there's even just a couple cool things, then it's worth it. I know a lot of people complain about how it's so much work. You have to, you know, get up early, get down there, and then sometimes what you're looking for sells out. Well, you know,
that's the whole point.
Yeah, that's the point of it, is that there's a scarcity to it.
It's
limited edition. If it were easy, you probably wouldn't care that much. I think that's the whole thing, you know.
Yeah,
and I made a video about that.
That's what they're doing, is creating.
Yeah, there's some scarcity. A lot of these are very limited. Now, the other thing, while we're on that topic, we should bring up, there are three types of Record Store Day releases. There are the Record Store Day exclusives. Now, that means that these releases are exclusive to Record Store Day only, or they're supposed to be. Then there are the Record Store Day first releases. That means these releases will eventually get a larger worldwide release, but they're going to come to Record Store Day first. Now, with that said, a lot of Record Store Day first releases will have something unique about them. In most cases, it's the fact that it's on a special colored vinyl that won't be available when it gets released, worldwide.
Makes it more fun.
Yeah. They try to give you a little something extra with it. But bear in mind that Record Store Day first releases will get a national release. And in most cases, those national release versions will probably be a bit less expensive too. So keep that in mind. Then there are the regional releases, which are also exclusives, but they're more centered towards different regions, and not every region will get them. Not every store is guaranteed to get every release. I mean, they can't, because some of these are very limited. Some of these have very large numbers, some have very small numbers. We're not going to go through everything. Again, I'm just going to go through what's caught my eye. And, you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. And just because I didn't mention something that you're interested in doesn't mean it's not good. You know, this is just what's caught my eye. I'll definitely want to hear what you think in the comments, and I'll definitely want to hear what catches your eye and what interests you. So let's go ahead. I'm going to run down these. I'm going to start with the Record Store Day exclusives first. And these are the ones that I get the most excited about because, again, they're limited and they're only exclusive to Record Store day, or at least they're supposed to be. So the first one here is the Black Keys live at Beachland Tavern, March 31st, 2002. And I'll read here. In celebration of the band's 20th anniversary, the Black Keys present a previously unreleased full-length live recording of their very first show in 2002 at Beachland Tavern in Cleveland, Ohio, on exclusive Tangerine vinyl. Quantity, 5,000 copies. Now, I'll be honest, I like the Black Keys a lot. This is kind of a cool artifact type of thing in that it's their very first ever show. It is, I have a feeling though, that even though it's a Record Store Day exclusive, that at somewhere down the line, we'll see this released as a streaming only release maybe, and maybe possibly a CD release. But I think what they'll do is keep the vinyl release exclusive to Record Store Day. Because,
yeah, but the fact that there's only 5,000 makes it.
Yeah. But I have a feeling it will come out eventually at the very least, it will come out as a streaming release. That still keeps the exclusivity of the vinyl release. Now, this next one here, I have to admit, until I've listened to the album, it's all about the packaging on this one here. Eric Carr, Rockology. It's coming out on vinyl as a Record Store Day exclusive and on CD as a regional release. Now, Eric Carr, let me just read what it says here. Rockology is Eric Carr's only solo record, which features former Kiss guitarist Bruce Kulick. This package was designed and mastered along with Loretta Carr, Eric's sister, to fall in line as the 5th Kiss solo album. The cover is Eric in his Fox makeup. The 12 by 24 poster is in the same style of the original 4 solo Kiss releases. Printed inner sleeves include never-before-seen photos and liner notes. The vinyl is an orange, clear black splatter with Fox record labels. The second LP features 5 never-before-released demos and tracks. And actually, let me recap. First disc is orange, clear and black swirl. The second is black, clear and orange swirl. Limited to 4,000 copies. So Eric Carr was the drummer that replaced original drummer Peter Criss. And this album was released. You can find it on streaming. I'm going to probably give it a listen. I've never heard it before. But what's cool about this is the way they're packaging it. They're making it look like it was part of the Kiss solo albums that came out in the 70s with the 4 original members. This would be like a 5th one. You won't see the Kiss logo on this, of course. It's not an official Kiss release, but they're stylizing it to look like that. You could say it's an homage. And it really is about the packaging in this one. Like I said, I haven't heard the album yet. I'll listen to it. Maybe the album's really good, and I'll be that much more interested. But 4,000 copies, I can see where this is going to be a big sought after by Kiss collectors, Kiss fans. Even though it's not an official Kiss release, I can see, because of the way they're packaging it, that it probably would be pretty well sought after by them. I think the whole idea of packaging it that way is very cool, because the original version, the cover did not reflect any of that. The art didn't reflect any of that.
Well, I'm guessing Gene Simmons is kicking himself right now for not thinking of it first.
Yeah, he probably is, because then he would have probably not limited it to 4,000 copies, or if he had, he'd charge an awful lot more than whatever it's going to be selling for at Record Store Day. So at any rate, though, it just sounds cool from that perspective for me, and I might just pick it up for that reason. Hopefully, I'm going to listen to it on streaming. Hopefully, I'll like the album at least. I don't know. This next one now is a band that I really like, but this to me is kind of a head scratcher. This is strictly a novelty thing. The Doors, Love Her Madly, Hello, I Love You, Break On Through. These are 3 separate releases designed to play on the RSD, for Record Store Day, 3-inch mini turntable. Each of these releases, there's 3 of them, are housed in a Japanese design flip jacket that includes the record and a lyric sheet, limited to 1,500 copies. So
you'll be lucky to find it.
Yeah, you'll be lucky to find it. And they're these tiny little itty bitty records that only play on a specific type of mini turntable created for Record Store Day. Now, if you're in the market for one of these turntables, here's the other half of this. The Doors limited edition RSD3 mini turntable, 500 copies. The Doors limited edition RSD3 mini turntable, sporting the Doors branded dust cover and turntable facing, Each of these special editions of the RSD3 comes in a special box with the complete set of the 3 records being released for Record Store Day 2023. So you could find one of these 500 releases of this little mini turntable. And I guess they've released these mini turntables in the past. But this is like, I like the Doors, but this is just too esoteric for me.
Yeah.
Either way, these little records, you can't play them unless you have one of these little turntables, and I'm sure they probably sound like crap. The turntables, that is. Who knows? Maybe the records do too.
Well, if the turntable is not good, then the record's not going to sound good.
No, it's not. But like I said, it's not really about listening to it. It's the novelty. It's strictly a novelty. And and I'll admit, the Eric Carr thing, it's a novelty. But it's still a record that I can listen to and play. This is a novelty. If you just get these little records, you don't have the turntable, well, you probably didn't buy them to play anyways. But maybe you're a Doors fan who gets into this, and if so, great. But to me, it's just something, it's interesting, but not going to go for it. This one here, Superfan actually set aside, I thought you might be interested in this one here. Duran, Carnival Rio. Following the release of Duran Duran's smash hit album Rio, a selection of night versions and remixes were released on the Carnival EP. The original Carnival EPs were the key to unlocking Duran Duran's international success at the time, and each track listing differed around the world. For the 40th anniversary year of Rio, this LP collects all of the Rio night versions and Carnival remixes into one collection for the first time exclusively for RSD 2023, limited to 3,000 copies.
I would probably buy that, although I do think that I have all of those.
You probably do. I know that you, back in the day, Duran Duran and U2 were 2 bands that were very much a part of your youth, and you were always purchasing like a lot of the more esoteric releases, remixes, 12 inches, specialty items back in the day. Yeah. And you were always getting a hold of those. And you do have a lot of those to this day. You probably do have all of these, but I just thought
I'd still get it and just to be able to put it on one CD and have it all in one place would be nice.
Sure.
I liked a lot of those versions of those songs.
Good.
So.
Well, yeah, like I said, I guess you'll be joining me on April 22nd, as you do always, and looking for that release. Next, we have Garbage, Witness to Your Love EP, rare and unreleased tracks. This includes 2008's Witness to Your Love, Never Before on Vinyl, and a cover of Susie and the Banshees' Cities and Dust and more, pressed on transparent red vinyl, 1,600 copies. I'm primarily set this one aside just to mention to Robert because he's a big fan of Garbage. He might be interested in this one here, though I would pass on it.
I might be interested in that one too.
Okay, cool. Next, we have Billy Joel, live at the Great American Music Hall, 1975. This is a 2 LP set. Recorded June 1975 in San Francisco, Billy Joel live at the Great American Music Hall, 1975, is coming to record stores for Record Store Day 2023 on double opaque gray vinyl. This album, taken from a stop at the Street Life Serenade Tour, introduces the earliest available recordings of future Turnstile classics James and New York State of Mind, and includes examples of Billy's loving imitations of Joe Cocker, Elton John, and Leon Russell, a staple of his early concerts. And I've heard about that in his early concert shows, he would do musical impersonations of other famous artists.
Yeah.
I remember a relative told me he went to go see Billy Joel in concert. This would have been around the time when he was really starting to make the charts with 52nd Street and The Stranger. And it was a special Halloween show. And he said, we're going to have some special guests tonight. And Billy Joel would walk off the stage. He'd come back on. And then he'd impersonate Stevie Wonder, or he'd impersonate Joe Cocker. And he told me it was one of the coolest things, and he did such a great job of impersonating these other famous music artists. So, yeah, that might be cool. Next, Carole King, The Legendary Demos. Originally released in 2012, The Legendary Demos Volume 1 compiles 13 demo recordings made from 1962 through 1971. Released for Record Store Day 2023 on Milky Clear Vinyl, 3,500 copies. Now, this has already been released. It's on streaming. I'm assuming it's only exclusive as this vinyl version.
Probably, the colored vinyl that they're doing.
Yeah, and I don't think it's ever, I'm guessing it's probably never been released on vinyl before, probably just only on CD. I'm guessing. I don't know for sure.
I don't know.
Now, next we have one of the biggest, insofar as numbers, record store day exclusives. Pearl Jam, Give Way. Recorded during Pearl Jam's March 5th, 1998 Melbourne Park show during the Australian tour in support of their fifth studio album, Yield. The highly sought-after Give Way is released on vinyl for the first time, as well as officially released on CD. The CD version is a regional release. The vinyl is a record store day exclusive release. The 17-track album, pressed on double black vinyl and housed in a gatefold sleeve, includes live versions of Given to Fly, Faithful, and Do the Evolution. The CD, originally scheduled for release in 1998 as a promotional item, never saw the light of day outside of an extremely limited number surfacing over the years until now. The LP will be limited to 15,500 copies. So there's a lot of copies there, but even still, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. But it's one of the larger record store day releases, and probably so that as many Pearl Jams as are able to can get a copy.
Yeah.
Before the flippers do, hopefully. The CD release is limited to only 4,000 copies. And the title, Give Way, is a nod to the Australian counterpart to the United States yield sign. That's, I remember when I looked, I thought, wait a minute, this album's already come out. And then I realized, oh yeah, it's called Yield. This is called Give Way. So just a little play on that album cover. Now, next one here, I'm kind of surprised to see this here as an exclusive. Elvis Presley, Burning Love, the RCA rehearsals, compiles the best of the recordings made during rehearsals for Elvis, April 1972 U.S. tour. And the tracks are all taken from the new Elvis on Tour collection. I'm not familiar with this collection. The 2LP Record Store Day 2023 set features rare and unreleased versions of Burning Love, Heartbreak Hotel, and Jailhouse Rock, along with some of Elvis's favorite cover songs, gospel songs, and more. This is an RSD exclusive, and that's why I'm kind of surprised, because in the past, when they've had an Elvis Presley Record Store Day release, it's been a first release, meaning it comes to Record Store Day first, usually on colored vinyl, but then gets a worldwide release anywhere from 6 months to a year later on standard black vinyl. So I'm kind of surprised that this is coming out as just an exclusive. I'm guessing the Elvis on Tour collection is a larger release set, and this is kind of taken from that.
And it may be that they're going to do a regular release of the Elvis on Tour set.
Yeah.
And this is promotion.
This is this could be just promotion for that, yeah.
I'm willing to bet.
Yeah. You're probably right. We haven't done any research on this. Like I said, we're just doing this very off the cuff. Next, we have the Ramones, Pleasant Dreams, the New York mixes. Original mixes by album producer Graham Gouldman and 3 additional songs from the sessions not included on the original album, featuring alternative artwork found in the Warner Library. And so, the original release of this album featured a different cover, and so these are called the New York mixes, so obviously these mixes are different from what was originally released. This next one here, kind of stretching the Record Store Day exclusive title a bit, but I'm still glad to see it. Rolling Stones, Beggar's Banquet. Exclusive to Record Store Day 2023, this LP is pressed on gray, blue, black, and white swirl vinyl as an ode to the lyrics, a swirling mass of gray, blue, black, and white from Salt of the Earth, as performed in the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, featuring the original album artwork and original window display poster. So, I mean, this album certainly has been always getting repressed, always getting re-released. So I guess why it's an exclusive is because this particular version on this particular version of colored vinyl and this window display poster, I guess, is a new thing too. Now the window display poster,
that would have been something that was only available as promotion for the record store. So that would have been something really limited.
And, the interesting thing is, of course, I have the stereo version on CD. I've got the mono version from the mono CD box set, but I've never gotten this album on vinyl yet. I'm assuming this is the stereo release. It doesn't specify which one. I'm assuming. And
you could probably do some research and find out.
Well, I did. There's no information at this point.
Okay.
This is directly from the Record Store Day website. But I'm hoping it's the stereo version, because if I was going to pick this up on vinyl, it would be the stereo version. I do prefer that one over its mono version. But if so, I would get this, because I don't own Beggar's Banquet on vinyl, so I might as well get this version. So I'm excited for that reason. This next one here, Taylor Swift Folklore, the Long Pond Studio Sessions. This is the first time Folklore, the Long Pond Studio Sessions, will be available on vinyl. Notice it says the first time. Recorded live, the album features Taylor Swift, Aaron Dressner of The National, Jack Antonoff of The Bleachers, and Justin Vernon, who better known as Bon Iver. Exclusive for Record Store Day, double gray vinyl LP. This is the audio from the Disney Plus special of the same name, which has been released on CD, but I guess this is the first time on vinyl. This is supposed to be an exclusive, which means it's not supposed to get released, on vinyl after that. But I keep looking at that word. This is the first time. Yeah, I keep thinking about that. But the whole idea of Record Store Day exclusives is that they're strictly an exclusive for Record Store Day, and that's it. Yeah, so those are the exclusives that have caught my eye. Then we have some releases that are Record Store Day first. Now, I typically don't get as excited about these because they're going to come out worldwide later. And chances are they'll be a bit less expensive. They'll probably just be on straight up black vinyl, but that doesn't matter that much, But here's what we've got here. Now, this one I thought you might be interested in, because I know you like the Cranberries. I like them too, but I think you're a bigger fan than me.
Robert too might be interested.
Robert's a big fan of the Cranberries also, yeah. The Cranberries, Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. Wake Up and Smell the Coffee is the 5th studio album by Irish alternative rock band The Cranberries, issued for the first time on vinyl for Record Store Day 2023, limited to 4,000 copies. Again, this will get a larger release at some later date, usually 6 months to a year. Elton John, Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player is Elton John's 6th studio album, released in January 1973 on DJM Records. It features the hits Crocodile Rock and Daniel, the first of 2 studio albums he released that year. It was his 2nd straight #1 album in the US and his first UK chart topper. This is a 2 LP set pressed on Propeller Splatter vinyl for Record Store Day 2023. The 2nd LP features session demos. So I was thinking about this one for a brief hot minute, and then I decided no. Because this year, we're getting the anniversary release of Hunky Chateau. They're just doing a 2 deluxe LP or 2 deluxe CD set featuring the album and then, of course, session tracks and live tracks. But this one, obviously in 2024, we're going to get Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. And we might get a larger box set like we did for Madman Across the Water, where we get not only a 2-disc deluxe edition, but a larger super deluxe set as well. And if so, I would want to get that. Another reason why I'll pass on this is because the last 2 that we've gotten, Hunky Chateau, coming out later this year, and Madman Across the Water, which we got last year, Vinyl Me Please did an exclusive pressing on colored vinyl, their own exclusive colored vinyl version. And in each case, I got those for the vinyl version. And I'm going to guess that probably Vinyl Me Please will do one for Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. But even still, if I'm going to put my funds anywhere, it's going to be on a super deluxe box set, which I'm hoping they'll do for this album. If not, I'll get the 2 CD version. And I've always said I don't need session tracks on vinyl. So as exciting as it would be to get to hear some of this stuff ahead of time, I'm going to pass. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed that there's going to be a super deluxe set for Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano, which again, I'm guessing we'll see in 2024.
Yeah, and you can't buy it all.
No, you can't buy it all. I'm not gonna. This is just what's caught my eye.
No, you have to.
So next is Raphael Saadiq, The Way I See It. Out of print for a decade plus, Get On Down revisits this timeless recording in a red vinyl pressing for Record Store Day 2023. The way I see it puts Raphael Saadiq's love of 1960s soul on full display. Recorded on vintage equipment, it features Motown session musicians, guest appearances from Neil soul singer Joss Stone, R&B vocalist C.J. Hilton, New Orleans Collective, the Rebirth Brass Band, a remix bonus track from Jay-Z, and even a guest appearance from Stevie Wonder. I like Raphael Saadiq an awful lot, and I don't have this album. Now, it's true it's going to come out later. Again, got to keep that in mind. But depending on my budget, I might just go for this ahead of time and get the Record Store Day version. We'll see. Also, for the Record Store Day first, Scott Weiland, 12 Bar Blues. This is a 25th anniversary expanded edition of Scott Weiland's 1998 debut solo album, 12 Bar Blues. First ever vinyl release. Includes originally intended track list with 2 additional previously unreleased tracks, plus the unreleased demo of Barbarella, pressed on blue and green vinyl. And so again, this will get a later release, this version here. And I'm guessing it will come out on both CD and vinyl. But it did catch my eye. And then we have one that probably fascinates me the most about these Record Store Day first releases. Norah Jones, Little Broken Hearts, live at All Air Studios.
Oh, you'll be getting that one, I know.
Well, at the very least, I'll wait till the worldwide release comes out. I love Norah Jones. And in early 2022, Norah Jones went into the All Air Studios in upstate New York with her band and producer Danger Mouse and created a new live version of her acclaimed 2012 album, Little Broken Hearts. This LP will be its first ever release as part of Record Store Day 2023 and is pressed on 140-gram pink vinyl. Quantity, 2,500 copies. And I might go for this one, even though it's going to come out later. I might just go for this. I love Norah Jones a great deal. We'll see what happens. Finally, one more Record Store Day first release.
You waited until last.
I waited until last because I knew you'd be interested in this here. And this is U2, Two Hearts Beat as One. Now, this is just a 4-song EP. And limited edition 4-song EP celebrating the 40th anniversary of U2's third studio album, War. The 12-inch EP features 2 original studio tracks, both released as singles in 1983, and 2 reimagined versions from their 2023 album, Songs of Surrender, pressed on 180-gram white vinyl and cut at 45 RPM, with an exclusive poster on glossy art paper included. So now, this, of course, is just a Record Store Day first release. It's going to get a national release later.
Yeah, but will it have all the Gugas?
I'm guessing it will. The only Guga is a poster. That's the only Guga. But, and it will, of course, it'll probably be on standard black vinyl. But it's going to feature, side 1 will feature the 2 tracks, the original studio versions. Side 2 will be the reimagined Songs of Surrender mixes, which, you know, I already know you're getting Songs of Surrender when it comes out.
Of course I am.
And I already know you're getting it. So half of this you're already going to have. But, you know, I just thought I'd point this out to you. Do you think you'd get this on Record Store Day, or would you just wait till later?
I don't know.
Have to see.
I would have to see.
It's a tough call because you're already going to have half of it when you get Songs of Surrender. You're already going to have half of it.
I would rather have whole of it.
I understand how you feel. And because, yeah, I know how much they mean to you. Anyways, though, so those are the Record Store Day releases that caught my eye and that I thought might interest Superfan or might interest Robert. What did you find out there? Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what you're excited about. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to hit like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell notification icon. If you'd like to show a little extra support, click the Super Thanks button or become a patron supporter. Patron supporters do receive exclusive weekly videos not available here on the channel.
You are fierce and mighty.
Yes. And till next time, we will see you in the next video. Bye.
Bye.